ahead and start. Hello, I am Popefire, the Starfire Outlaw, and tonight we have a handful of guests with us, and we're gonna have some that kind of pop in a little bit later. And we are doing Spider-Man because most of us were in here yesterday watching Spider-Verse, and that movie is absolutely fantastic. And real quick, I'm going to run down the list of everybody that's guesting today, and I'm going to ask them who their favorite Spider-Man character is and how they found out about the character. And we're going to, of course, start with Trusty Sidekick. How are you doing tonight?
Hey there, true believers. Doing fine.
Okay, that was really cool.
Excelsior. Did you ever notice that Stanley kind of sounds like Meowth from Pokemon?
It's water.
No.
I hate water, especially wet water.
Oh my god. Oh, wait, before we do anything, there is something I have to do. Alright, Night Pope has been ejected from the stream.
She predicted it. She's a psychic.
Yes, but Trusty. Hello, Adrian. Trusty, who is your favorite Spider-Man?
I don't really have one. I've got to confess, I've never been much of a Spider-Man fan.
Well, that's
Sorry.
discouraging.
I know, right? I think the only time that I bought Spider-Man regularly was during the Raven's Last Hunt storyline.
And what Spider-Man will you be drawing today?
I'll be drawing the Tom Holland costume.
Sweet. All right. Blah, blah, blah. I'm gonna have such a hard time with this. Shoshani, how are you doing tonight?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. This is your first time being on a stream that wasn't Gary Shipman's, isn't it?
Yes, it is. I'm very
yay. Yes. Do you want to introduce yourself since this is your first time on and at the altar?
I am Shoshana. My channel is Shani Does Art. I'm just starting out. And yeah, I really enjoy doing art, and YouTube's fun so far. So yeah.
Yes. If you do want to get in contact with her, I believe that Gary Shipman is offering a package on his Indiegogo where you can actually buy some art from her. Correct?
Yes, he is doing that.
Yes. Nice. So, and you, excuse me, which Spider-Man would you say is your favorite one?
I think it's the original, Tobey Maguire.
Oh, so the movie Spider-Man.
Yeah. I didn't read the comics. I read, like, X-Men more than Spider-Man.
Oh, no, I will be honest with you. Most of the Marvel books I know are X-Men as well, so...
Yeah. So not a lot of Spider-Man going on, but
yeah,
probably Tobey Maguire.
All right. Is he the one that you're going to be drawing tonight?
No, I decided to draw Spider-Gwen.
Sweet. Okay. Mr. Marvel, this is your first time at the altar, and I know that you're doing an Indiegogo currently. How are you doing tonight?
I'm tired. I'm very tired. The last couple of days have been very busy.
He's escaped so many traps lately.
Huh?
I said you've been escaping so many traps lately.
I have been. All over the place. After that, I'm pretty good. I'm in a great mood. There's nothing like seeing a community come together to help you out. So I'm like actually beside myself with happiness for one.
Hey, I mean, your book is doing very, very well right now. I have yet to back it, actually.
No worries. The thing is, we started acting like it was the last 24 hours, but it was the first 24 hours. There's still 29 days left of the campaign.
Yeah, I do want to say thank you, by the way, because you've made these books very affordable. And I respect you greatly for that, because a lot of these, even the digital copies for some of these artists are very expensive.
Well, I mean, I'm a blue-collar pro. I'm broke, so I think of my fellow readers, and I'm like, well, if I can't afford more than this, I'm not going to make them pay more than this.
Yeah, well, I do appreciate that, because I have had some people reach out to Comics Titans fundraiser asking if we can help them with affording the book. So I do appreciate that greatly, that you have made it very affordable. Now, will you be drawing tonight?
I will. I don't have a proper setup to show myself drawing, but
That is perfectly fine.
I can keep giving updates here and there. I think I'm the old man tonight. So
No,
I don't know.
Manny's here.
I think I could challenge you for that.
Are your knees currently working, sir?
barely.
My knees aren't.
I have a
Not the old man.
Star
is currently the old man.
I have a golf ball size knot in my lower lumbar, if that helps me. I'm bald.
Excelsior! Okay, you win.
Now, what Spider-Man is your favorite?
Now, like I said, because I'm an old man, so I was first introduced to Spider-Man honestly back in 1992 with the Torment arc done by Todd McFarlane, which also led me to fall head over heels in love with his art for the rest of my life. But if I had to say that, obviously my favorite Spider-Man would be good old Peter Parker. But after I introduced my daughter to Spider-Man, her preferred Spider-Person is Spider-Gwen. So, like, I kind of feel like I should draw that so I can surprise her with it tomorrow.
All right.
Awesome.
All right, we are going to go to Grimlock. Now, Grimlock is not an artist, but he is one of the conversation people we have on here. And I know that he is very, very into 80s and 90s culture. And Grimlock, who is your favorite Spider-Man?
It's Peter Parker. Who else? I mean, I have a soft spot for the Scarlet Spider. Well, Kane's Scarlet Spider, not Ben Reilly. Even though there was nothing wrong with Ben's arc. I have nothing wrong. I have nothing against Ben, but I think Kane has. I guess Kane being more brutal kind of added something to Scarlet Spider, other than just being another spider, another guy with spider powers.
Yeah. I'm probably gonna get a lot of flack for my favorite character. But James, third, who is your favorite Spider-Man?
I mean, it's Miles Morales, but not the comic book one. I really like the one in the movie. I love watching that whole thing, but the comic book one is like, I'm starting to like him more I read, but at the same time, it's like,
Nah, movie Miles is the real Miles. That's what they came out with. That is the relatable character.
Yeah, that was genius.
So
I really like his origin story, even though his origin story was mixed with everyone else's origin story.
Are you drawing Miles tonight?
Going to try to.
All right. And then, of course, we do have the actual oldest of them all, Manny from Good Dog Press. How are you doing, Manny?
My knees are still working fine. I'm not bald. I was hopping all over things that I can't tell you where I was for the last week. So, so I ain't that old, girl.
Well, every week, Manny comes on here to allow me to insult him. Every week, and he keeps coming back.
And you know what? You're supposed to acknowledge your VIP in your chat. You got Gary Shipman in the chat.
Oh, yes. Hello, Gary Shipman.
Man, that's the first thing you're supposed to do. Come on, girl.
The chat should be trying to convince everybody to put hoods on people.
Hoods? What the hell?
Yes, the chat on Gary Shipman. The Gary Shipman had a chat today that convinced them to put a hood on the Robin Commission. So that was really funny. Who is your favorite Spider-Man?
My favorite comic book Spider-Man is the Black Suit Spider-Man. I thought that storyline was awesome. It was fun. I mean, having that suit do all kinds of crazy things while he was asleep. That was a cool storyline.
Now,
if I didn't know better, that would really sound a lot different.
Are you drawing Black Suit Spider-Man, Manny?
No, I'm gonna do Spider-Man Noir.
Ooh, I really like him.
And if you guys notice what I got on my screen, it's some fan art by somebody on this panel. Really great artist. Trusty, take a bow.
I was just gonna say that's a beautiful skunk girl you have on your screen, man.
That was done by Trusty.
To be honest, I was
Nice.
more impressed by the Pepe Le Pew. Pepe Le Pew is adorable.
It wasn't done without reference. So.
Yeah. Hey, you
We're
know,
impressed.
everybody uses references, Trusty. Don't worry about it.
dude.
It was super cool. Everybody liked it. When I had that on my table at the Comic-Con, everybody loved that.
I'm glad.
Pretty cool.
There is nothing out there that's original. To say that you don't have a reference for something is like, okay.
Now, Adrian.
Yo.
Now, this was the first time you haven't been put on the spot, and you got lucky this time. Who is your favorite Spider-Man?
Well, I like Peter Parker, of course, but Spider-Man 2099 is probably my favorite one.
And he's the one you're drawing tonight, correct?
Correct.
Yes. My favorite Spider-Man is, of course, Scarlet Spider, and I do mean the Ben Reilly one. And it all boils down to when I was a child, I bought a Spider-Man comic based on the costume alone, and I was not able to comprehend what happened in the comic, but I really liked Scarlet Spider's outfit. So ever since then, I've always been a super into Scarlet Spider. So he is, of course, my favorite Spider-Man.
So you've always been a fashionista. Okay.
No, always been a fashionista. Well, comics are both you have to be able to look at their images, and if the images on them are really poor, you're not going to be interested in the character. It's just there has to be story and art input in there, and if the art is bad, you're probably not going to sell a lot of comics. That's why I think certain characters like Spider-Gwen and like characters like that sold as well as they did was because the costumes on them were so fantastic and the art was pretty good.
Yeah,
even though the story may not have been.
I think I like Spider-Gwen's look more than I like Spider-Gwen.
Yes,
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah, her costume is a really good design.
It is.
Yes.
It's on point. Especially if you're like, because common sense says, why would you be wearing all white to try and sneak around? But it works. It works.
Yeah, there's Spider-Man does have some of the best costumes, actually. He's got several different like.
In a city of lights, it kind of makes sense for her to not wear dark. Seeing a black blur flying through the air is kind of just like, oh, there it is.
Well, in that same sense, why would you wear a cape really? That's a superhero. Like
we all learned this from Incredibles. Don't wear capes.
I mean,
Batman can't fly, so he would never be near a jet plane. And if he did get near it, we know he has a plan to escape.
But he owns jet planes. What are you talking about? He's never been near a jet plane.
Well, I mean, while having the suit on, because if he goes near his jet planes with the suit on, they'll be like, "Oh, you're Bruce Wayne," and he'll be like, "No, he just lives in my attic."
I ripped it out to him. It's a weird conversation, man.
All right, so the question should be, what's your favorite Spider-Man other than Peter Parker or any other regular Spider-Man? That's a good point, Joshua, but again, there are different incarnations of Spider-Man. Even modern Spider-Man is very different from older Spider-Man. And there are different versions of Peter Parker, like the Spectacular Spider-Man cartoon show. That was a very good incarnation of Peter. And that does sort of bring me to the first point of the discussion. Excuse me, I think I spoke too much yesterday on a stream. Modern Spider-Man is probably one of the most disappointing things coming out of Marvel right now. From everywhere, from demasculizing him and just constantly making him a loser. And yes, Peter Parker did have sort of dorky and nerdy traits, but he wasn't just downright a loser. Like, he still had small victories. With modern Spider-Man, it seems like they really just don't even consider his character anymore, and they just make him somebody that would pretty much be living in his mother's basement if possible.
His aunt.
His aunt,
Yeah,
yeah.
almost shot like Bruce Wayne's. No. Oh no, never mind. They just disappeared.
No, they died in a plane crash. But the core concept of Spider-Man is that he's just some guy that has powers that just wants to do the right thing, and it seems like modern Spider-Man doesn't understand that. Because again, I understand the storylines where he's like, well, being Spider-Man is really tough and difficult, and that's fine. But what they do is they make it sound like Spider-Man is a complete and total burden to him, to the fact that he doesn't even want to be Peter Parker or Spider-Man, and it makes the character very depressing and very hard to read.
So
I have to say that's one of the things I liked about Spider-Verse. It felt like they were acknowledging all the wrong they had done to Peter Parker, because
Right.
that dude, he had his ass kicked. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
At least that's what I translated. Because that poor guy, you know what I mean? As soon as I saw him on screen, I was like, that's a great metaphor for what they've done to him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, even the opening where they just kept slamming him into shit. Like, he's not even in control of his story, they're just slamming him around. I was like, that's a great fucking metaphor, whether they meant it or not.
Well,
They didn't.
Spider-Verse did a lot of things right with even Peter Parker, because they did sort of redeem him at the end, because he's sitting there and instead of it being Spider-Man that's the dilemma, it's he's not wanting children that's the dilemma.
Great movie.
Yeah, it was a fantastic movie. It's definitely one that I'm gonna have to rewatch.
Yeah.
Now, the different incarnations of Spider-Man, it seems like a lot of them started popping up mid-2000s. And I could be wrong here, because I'm not like a super Spider-Man fanatic, but it definitely does feel like there's been a large increase of Spider characters since 2010. Because again, beforehand it was just Ben Reilly and Peter Parker, wasn't it? With sometimes Spider-Man 2099.
Well, 2099 had a run for a very long time.
He was part of
And
the
then
99 series.
Yeah, and then it kind of ended after its run, and he didn't really show up till in recent years. I think it was Peter David that wrote the original. He came back and started writing another Spider-Man 2099 book that was pretty good too. I think that's canceled now, though. I'm not sure that's still running anymore.
Yeah, it's canceled.
Yeah,
well, it's just it's
but
very interesting.
That Spider-Man 2099 was a different Spider-Man 2099 from the original Spider-Man 2099.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they weren't the same. They were similar, but there was differences between them.
Yeah, I think it was really Spider-Man One More Day that sort of put this character on this spiral to just depressing stories and taking him so far away from his character.
Definitely.
Yeah, and again around that time, because I believe it was the 2010 to 11 when Miles was introduced, and then Gwen was introduced. Just so many other Spider characters when it had mostly just been Peter Parker and a clone. And even then, Ben Reilly was sometimes written in and written out and written in and written out. So yeah, it seems like One More Day sort of started this spiral to Peter's decay as a character, and then with the newer era, it seems like they started introducing other Spider people, hoping to replace Peter. Which I don't mind if they replace characters slowly, or they give the characters enough personality. Yeah, a decent story and a decent personality to where they can take over the mantle. But what Marvel did was they were doing it with every character.
Oh yeah.
And that's a big no-no. And again, I think we talked about this earlier, or I know that we talked about it off stream, but that Miles was not a good character when he's first introduced. He's been very heavily improved by the movies, but Miles really for the time wasn't a good Spider-Man.
Well, in my opinion, I think it's because they just didn't do it the way it could have worked. When I think of someone like Miles Morales, if I were to rewrite that from the beginning, give him a new origin, you know what I mean? You'd want to portray him not as Black Peter Parker, that's nervous around girls and can't get. You want to portray him as the really cool, popular athlete in high school. We all knew that. We all hung out with him. He was super cocky. He was charismatic. He could get all the girls. He was the captain of at least 2 of the sports teams. He got great grades. He was going to go somewhere. You need to have it, if you really insist on it, that he's the one that gets bitten from the very beginning. You know what I mean? Or have it another way that he ends up getting bitten. And instead of running from being the hero, he fully embraces it, goes out there, he's cocky, he's kicking ass, and he fucks up in such a way, he loses everyone's support. And at that point, he has to rebuild it. And then he gets his defining great power, great responsibility moment. And, you know, you have a certified Miles Morales. You got the guy that learned the lesson. You got a hero. He's charismatic. You know, he has a whole different set of urgencies. We don't feel like they're replacing Peter. We feel like, oh, shit, there's a new Spider-Man.
Well, the reason why Peter Parker did as well as he did was he was the first teenage superhero. And he was designed to relate to the comic book reader. And people loved that because at the time there wasn't really any nerdy characters that the comic book reader could relate to, and Peter was very easily relatable to the children and the teenagers growing up at that time.
Yep.
Locked on Trusty. Yes, Trusty's screen is not showing on the stream, so we'll just
What?
Yeah, it's showing your icon.
I wonder why. I can see myself in the Hangout. Hang on.
Yeah, so it's very interesting though because Spider-Man was designed to be relatable. He was designed to be somebody that people could look up to, and ironically there's actually some panels in the original Spider-Man comics where they called him Superman. Now, Grimlock, do you have anything you would like to add about modern Spider-Man?
I got a bunch. Where do you want me to begin?
Anywhere you want.
I think one of the big reasons that modern Spider-Man has been disappointing is that they're trying to replace him as the face of Marvel, and it's not working. You can't really just replace a character that has had so much resonance amongst comic book fans and just say, oh, we're getting rid of him and you're going to like this new guy a lot better. It's and that's one of the problems I think most people have with Miles. I mean, if you look at Miles when he started in the Ultimate Universe, I didn't have a problem with Miles when they first introduced him because, for one, it was the Ultimate Universe. So it's like, okay, it's okay. He's in this other timeline. He's doing something a little bit different, but he's, you know, we still have Peter. And it's Marvel, and I throw some of this at Sana Amanant's way because her and Joe Quesada has been the cancer of Marvel Comics as a whole. And if we could just cut those 2 lumps, that company would be a lot better.
Well, the rumor has it that they're actually planning on shutting down Marvel's comics and just licensing the characters off to other comic companies.
It'd be stupid of them, but, you know, as of late, they're not keen on making smart decisions, so...
It might end up being better in the long run.
Yeah, but that's what people said when they started handing off the movie rights to other companies.
No, I mean for me, because then I have a better chance at getting bigger. Because
for his personal growth, it
I meant no.
People do kind of forget that the original, like Marvel's original movie releases, kind of sucked. I mean, Daredevil and Daredevil wasn't anything to write home about. It was actually Fox and Sony that popularized.
You hate Blade.
They
No, Blade.
really popularized modern superhero movies. They were the reasons why superhero movies even became popular.
You can't talk about Blade because we all know Black Panther was the first movie to have black people as stars.
Right.
Yeah, even before Spawn in the 90s.
Oh my God, Spawn.
You can't. He doesn't count too. He wasn't handpicked by Rotten Tomatoes and Vanity Fair, so he doesn't count.
Real quick, guys, Midnight Cherry TV has a question. Who would win in a dance contest? One Starfire or Miles Morales? Starfire actually can't dance very well, so she's already out.
Well, they're both based on Puerto Ricans. Let's throw on some salsa and see what happens.
Honestly, if I have to answer it honestly, it's gonna be Juanpo because he's older and he would have the Spanish music along his life, you know? Like Miles will kind of do all right, and then hey, watch out, guys! Let me show you how it's done. And then he's gonna cut up a rug.
Every day is torture. Hello, we have John, or we have Jiminy Cricket and your friendly neighborhood Jeff.
Hello, can you hear me?
What's up, guys?
How are you guys doing?
Hey.
Real quick, Ninja, who is your favorite Spider-Man?
What do you mean, Peter Parker?
Yeah, just who's your favorite Spider-Man? Peter Parker. And what Spider-Man will you be drawing tonight?
I'll be drawing the Scarlet Spider-Man. Plastic.
See, this is why Ninja is my favorite. Ninja, who actually inspired your avatar and character?
I don't know. Might have had Spider-Man had something to do with it.
Yes. So you are a big Spider-Man fan?
At one time, I was, yes.
Yeah, so one time. So I'm sure you have something you'd like to say about modern Spider-Man.
Yeah, I think he's a Skrull. I think he's still a Skrull from the Secret Invasion.
It would explain so many things wrong with him.
You know what? Don't give them ideas on how to just all of a sudden wipe off clear 10 years of stupidity and go, no, he was a Skrull all along. We was just trolling you guys.
They were all just in a giant matrix. It's okay, guys.
Pick up the new Spider-Man reboot starting in 2 weeks.
And
that's going to cost you $12.
Secret Invasion 2.
I swear to God, Captain Marvel has more number ones than a binary code.
That's actually a good nerd joke. You just wasted it here, though. But
Jiminy, well, no, it was actually from my Pope Fire Explains Captain Marvel the movie video. If you guys haven't checked that one out already, Jiminy Cricket, who is your favorite Spider-Man?
The original one, Peter Parker.
Peter Parker.
No other one.
No other one. And who are you drawing today?
The original Peter Parker, Spider-Man.
Yes, you were the one that got him, weren't you? Yeah, you were really excited about that.
Yes.
Real quick, we were talking about modern Spider-Man and sort of the disaster with that. So if you guys have anything you want to add, I have to go to the bathroom, so I will be right back.
Probably nothing that everyone else hasn't already said, because I'm coming in late. I kind of gave up on Spider-Man after Joe Quesada's One New Day. Is that one more day? Yeah. As soon as he had Spider-Man making a deal with the devil in order to save his 900-year-old Aunt May to destroy his own marriage and eliminate the existence of his own child, I was like, they don't know. They gave up on Spider-Man because Spider-Man would never do that. So it was kind of it's kind of sickening. So it's like you don't make a deal with the ultimate evil in order to let an old lady who's been dying since day one have one more day. Makes no sense. So,
well, I hated the whole Civil War thing where he unmasked anyway. I thought it was one of the stupidest things they could have ever done. And then on top of it, they make this whole big deal about him unmasking, and by the end of Civil War, he's taken he switched sides. So it's like, well, who wrote this? Vince Russo? It's like,
what's a twist?
I mean, Joe Quesada, as many people have theorized, was probably bitter that he was going through a divorce, so he decided to break up a marriage that people actually was happy to see happen.
Yeah. I don't understand these whether it's Spider-Man or whether it's Superman or any of these characters. I don't understand why the people in charge are so terrified with allowing these characters to grow. You know, Spider-Man being married, Superman being married, I see as an opportunity to tell great new adventures with those characters.
Yeah, no
but
kidding.
For some reason, the editors in chief see it as something to avoid like a plague. You know, whether it's sending Lois off to, you know, with Jor-El, and having Jonathan age 10 years in like a week, or, you know, just canceling out Spider-Man's marriage. It's like, why would you destroy the opportunity to tell so many fantastic adventures that readers would love to see? I'm sure, you know, Super Sons was very popular. I'm sure plenty of people would love to see, you know, Spider-Man and Mary Jane be married and raising a child. But
yeah.
Now we've been denied that opportunity because, you know, these editors have these idiotic ideas like, you know, Spider-Man, you know, siding with Satan. You know, so it to me makes no sense at all. So I can't explain foolishness like that.
Well, I agree with you completely because a lot of a lot of writers, I think some of it's due to lack of talent where they just
they're not creative enough.
They don't seem to know where to go once you get them to a certain point. It's like they constantly feel the need to break up, you know, couples, you know, not just you know, Peter, Mary Jane, Lois, and Clark, but I mean even other marriages like Scott and Jean.
Right. Yeah. Same thing.
I mean, you can also it has a lot more to do with the societal shifting they want to do. If you'll take notice that they're, you know, very anti-family, don't get married, don't have kids.
Exactly.
It's just part of that. You know what I mean? It's more of what they're trying to push. You know, they don't want to push that. You know what I mean? That's anti to what they're trying to get society to do. That's why there are no functional relationships. There are no family moments. You know what I mean? Everything is chaotic. Everyone's being shifted. Everyone's miserable. You know, all these. That's what really breaks my heart. These superheroes are fucking miserable.
Yeah, they are.
They're just unhappy for no reason, and that's because the people in charge of them are also unhappy people.
Yeah.
I will, because we do have to have one mandatory Starfire reference. They even have made Starfire very depressing. Now, she is better in Odyssey, but there was a long time when the 2006 to 2014 until New 52 ended, Starfire was a miserable character. And they do that with optimistic characters. They love doing that to optimistic characters because they don't believe optimistic people can actually exist.
Yeah.
And you see it with Spider-Man because Peter Parker, I would consider Peter Parker an optimistic character. Yes, he has those very human moments, we all do, where he's not going to be optimistic all the time.
Right.
But they really take away everything that's optimistic for a lot of superheroes, and it's like Mr. Marvel said, they do it because they're unhappy with their lives because they cannot have successful relationships.
Well, that's where I said, you know, they're trying to replace Peter and they're failing at it because Peter's relatability goes far beyond, you know, just, you know, being a character. That's kind of why I find why they're pushing Miles Morales a bit to be insulting, because it's like, oh, he's black. It's like, okay, Peter's relatability had nothing to do with his race, so you don't have to be a certain race to understand some of the things that Peter was going through. You know, as you know, he wasn't a rich he wasn't rich like Stark or Bruce Wayne. He's not getting funding like Reed Richards. He's a regular Joe who's working a fairly crappy job when you think about it, getting bitched out by his boss every day. Most people here can relate to that. Because I mean, I don't know about most people, but I play Highway to Hell when I go to work. So,
can I change my favorite Spider-Man?
Yeah, go for it.
I liked Superior Spider-Man. I liked when Doc Ock took over, and that whole run where he's like he just where Doc Ock was like, I don't see the very beginning. I don't see the point in being good per se. I'm gonna do what is viewable as the better thing, but like
it was
even
a
came to the
really
point where he
stupid
killed.
idea that actually ended up working.
I mean, yeah, it's a dumb idea,
yeah.
but it was like, hi, I'm gonna actually make his life successful. He's not stupid. He's not. He's not weak. He's way too shy. He's being. It's like they took the time to say like this is what Peter could do if he actually had a good amount of confidence in himself. I mean, he has confidence, but not enough.
I don't know because I hated every part of Superior Spider-Man.
Spider-Man gets screwed over so much. Like, do you guys remember that story where the Green Goblin and Gwen Stacy were?
That was messed up. That was sick, man.
They do that. They always target Spider-Man. They don't do that with any other character. It's always Spider-Man that they do that constantly and consistently with. It's like, oh, you guys like Gwen Stacy? Her death was impactful and actually changed a lot about comic books. She did smoosh moo with the bad guy and had 2 kids.
Yeah, that's pretty messed up. But again, I think it goes back to your whole thing with them not liking, in a sense, innocence. You know, Gwen Stacy was always established as like the perfect girl for Peter, and you know, them going back and retconning her to being someone who slept with the worst enemy Peter's ever had, and having 2 kids with him. When she, I mean, he's old enough to be her dad, and she was what, 19 at the time. It's just
no. What's worse, I think she was 16 or 17. She wasn't of age. They do that. They do that with innocent characters a lot. They did that with Nightwing New Order, where they literally pulled a crap ton of strings to try and make that story work, and it didn't. But they do that if there's an innocent character that's a fan favorite and people know and they constantly see them as the good guy or the good character. Marvel and DC will both go, "Oh, you guys like that innocent character? What if we ruin it?"
Yeah, it seems like they get off on doing that.
I can understand that. You have a good base and you just want to destroy it. That's amazing. The feeling to do.
Yeah, why wouldn't you?
It's just, I just don't understand them. Like, to me, it's just pure evil, and it's mostly because these comic writers and these, in a sense, it could be the editors as well, because there has been several cases where an editor has caused things to go a certain way. They're not happy with life. They're not happy with everything around them, and this really boils down to SJWs never being happy anyways, but they ruin these characters because that's how they relate to them, is these characters have to be depressing and evil as well, and you don't have to be able to relate to a character for the character to be a good character. Like, you shouldn't have to look at a character and go, that trait matches my own traits, so I relate to that character. And yes, relating to a character is a very important thing, but it's not the only thing that should appeal. It shouldn't be the only thing that makes the character appealing to you.
Yes, because I totally relate to Grimlock. A lot of you do not know that at night I do transform into a fire-breathing cybernetic dinosaur.
Well,
I mean,
a good writer can
obvious.
sympathize with any character.
That's one of the problems. They don't have good writers. I mean, that's one of the reasons I hated Superior Spider-Man, because it was basically Dan Slott basically just taking the Spider-Man legacy and wiping his fat ass with it.
All right, let's try and keep the language a little bit more PG.
All right.
Yeah, my bad. I swear a lot. I try to
wiping his rotunda derriere.
No, you should have seen. We had a father bring his daughter on here once, and we were so good. Like, everybody on the panel was so nice and so sweet, and I was really proud of us.
And then the next minute, when she was gone, things went too
yeah, everybody took a deep breath and went, finally, and it was like sailor noises everywhere, I swear.
But
yeah, it's like mouth.
Not a problem.
All right, Grimlock, I'm sorry, buddy. I love you. Could you say your last few thoughts so we can let Jacob on?
Oh, she's got to let her crush on.
Hey, he's the sexiest man in Comicsgate.
Well, we just could put one like long bleep at the end of this for my sake.
All right.
There you go.
I love you, Reggie.
And then she doxes me.
Dun dun
Goodbye.
dun.
Man, jeez, the poor guy.
All right.
Star's just messing people
No,
up.
you
man.
should see. I invite Night Pope on just so I can kick her. It's just so enjoyable.
It's sad because it would be worse if she didn't know about it, but she's so much happier to go like, yay, she kicked me off. I'm like, oh my god, no.
That's what makes it so funny.
Don't be happy
Night Pope
about
is
this.
so optimistic. I love it.
You are Marvel. It's like, oh, she's optimistic. I must destroy.
Oh no. I would never actually do anything that would upset Night Pope. She is actually a really good friend of mine.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm
but
just
she
happy
is optimistic, and I see that glint in your eye. You're like, must destroy, must destroy.
Oh yes, I am gonna point out some of the stuff that the chat said. Entertaining characters. Your wife, Manny, says everyone loves. Oh no, that's not your wife. Sorry, that's you. Everyone loves the smell of Skunk Girl. I don't know why you're saying stuff in the chat and not in here. She will smell whatever is your favorite smell.
Okay. And I'm looking at Twitter. Pope Raven just tweeted something out, which is so super cool.
I'm kind of scared.
How can this be scary? Look at this.
Oh no! Is that the sticker she was doing for you, or he was doing?
Oh, that's the newest one.
Yeah.
Cool.
Pope Raven has spent 2 weeks trying to perfect that for you. Perfect. I'm from Texas, everybody.
That's great.
Way down yonder on the pad.
Yeah.
Yes, Pope Raven has spent 2 weeks because he really wanted you to like that. So he had
That
put a lot of effort into it.
Cool, yeah. I mean, I took one of his illustrations last night and I colored it. This was his. He did this, and I did the inking, and I colored this last night on my show, which is cool as hell.
Yeah,
I like his.
That's awesome.
Yeah, Pope Raven is doing the stickers for us. So if you guys do, if there is a character that you want us to see, we will try and work out a sticker for you. Now we do have almost everybody on this panel has a sticker from Pope Raven, except for our newest guest. So, but yes, these stickers. What we're doing with them is when we have all of them finished, we're gonna bundle them in packs of 5, and we're gonna sell them for anywhere from, I believe, we're gonna try and do $5. And all the profits we make, we're gonna put into a little funding, and then we're gonna send all of that to Feisty because Feisty does need some financial help right now. And we're going to use these stickers as sort of a way to help people in Comicsgate that need help with financial issues.
Awesome.
That's nice.
Nice.
That's really cool.
Yeah. We thought of this idea because Comics Titans fundraiser. I will ask her in a second, Gary. What we're doing is Comics Titans fundraiser is set up to only buy people books, and unfortunately, Comics Titans fundraiser. I wanted to be honest with Comics Titans fundraiser, and I don't want to use the funds for anything other than what we told people we would use them for. Unfortunately, there have been some people reach out to me and tell me that they need help with life, and I have bought some people some Uber Eats cards just so they could afford some food for a little bit. But I can't do it by myself. It is very financially straining, and as much I don't make that much money to support other people other than myself and my brother. So I wanted to set up a program to where other people could help as well, but also benefit them by giving them something as well, like these really adorable stickers. And I spoke way too much without taking a breath.
Breathe, woman, breathe.
Jacob, you're here. We lost Jivity. Oh,
Jacob
yes.
or Jacob?
Gary asked a question. Ask Shawnee. I promise I will get better at saying that. I promise. What she is using to draw with.
I'm using Gonzai Tombi watercolors. They're Japanese and they're really cool. They're really good to work with.
Name sounds awesome.
Yeah.
I can't pronounce it, but it sounds amazing.
Yeah, that sounds really cool. Now, where do you get those from? Do you get those online or at an art store?
Yeah, I just got them off Amazon. I asked for them for Christmas, but I gave them the link to Amazon, so I think that's where they're from. But yeah, I honestly don't want to use any other paint right now. They're really easy to work with, and yeah, I like them. They're really vibrant too.
Yeah, they look really cool.
Yeah.
All right. I am because today in Gary's chat, people were telling him to put a hood on the Robin, so I'm going to ask you to put a hood on a character you already have a hood on. Just because that's going to become my new meme, and every time Gary draws something now, I'm going to ask him to put a hood on it.
All right, I'll put another hood on her.
Yes. Nighthawk is asking how you were doing.
I'm good.
Yes, Nighthawk is a little sweetheart. So.
Yes.
Okay, we are almost at our halfway point. So I'm going to run down the list and show off everybody's pieces. And of course, as always, we will put Adrian on the spot. Adrian, would you like to speak about your piece?
Spider-Man 2099.
Now, what made you decide to go with this character?
Well, it's actually one of the first Spider-Man books I ever had in comic.
I'm gonna turn you up a little bit.
And I'm a fan, so it appealed to me quite a lot when it came out. And I don't know, I felt the universe and just the character.
Yeah, I totally get that.
So.
I have to find somebody's YouTube page real quick.
Shawnee's?
Yes.
I was about to ask her, Shawnee, what's your YouTube page?
Shawnee does art.
Okay.
Y'all hear that in the comments? Go look for it now. Subscribe. Do it.
I put the link down. Everybody calm down.
No, don't calm down.
Manny.
Go subscribe now. Do it now.
Yeah, I'm making it. Out. Yes, everybody panic. Rush. Just go sub.
Leave nice comments or I will find you and I will give you a mean stare.
Do it now. Do it now.
Manny.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Would you like to speak about your piece, Manny?
What?
Excuse me. Would you like to talk about your piece and why you chose Spider-Man Noir?
Why are you laughing about it?
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering. I look at his page and it looks really good, and then you're like, I'm laughing at this.
I'm laughing at that. I swear, somebody said something. I don't know who said it, but it was hilarious.
I was like, what the hell are you laughing about?
Do it now. Laugh now.
Oh my goodness. So what I'm doing is I'm doing a scratch board technique to do the Spider-Man Noir. And I never read the comic. The only thing I know about the Spider-Man Noir was he was in that game that I played. The one with all the different Spider-Mans with
Shattered Dimension?
Yeah, that one. That was a pretty cool game. And that was my favorite part of the game was playing Spider-Man Noir.
I've never beat the game. I keep getting stuck at the Deadpool part.
You suck.
Yeah, I do suck. Like, for some reason, I can't get past the river part, and I've tried it. That's always, because I played it on 3 different consoles, and that's always the part I get stuck on.
That looks really good, Manny.
Yeah, that looks amazingly good, by the way.
Well, it is really cool.
Yeah, still working on it.
Awesome.
Yeah, that looks great.
It's a scratch board technique. All I did was I did a real fast drawing on the bottom. Just did this layer, real scritchy scratchy. Just give me an idea what I want to do. Then I just put a black layer over it. I'm just scratching it off.
That's really cool.
Now, while we're on the topic of Spider-Man Noir, in the Spider-Verse comic, and this was actually pointed out to me by Booster, Spider-Man Noir is actually colored with I believe it's called the Ben Day process, where they color it in with dots. So that was really
cool.
Yeah, it was a really cool nod to older comics as a whole. It was really, really cool.
Yeah, they dotted it. It was pretty cool.
We are gonna go to James over here. How you doing, James?
Okay.
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 All right, was that it?
No hablo inglés. Okay. There. Show.
Okay, that's really cool. Now, what inspired you to go with the Spider-Man again?
Because I like Miles Morales, and I like the movie. I like Miles Morales in the movie. It's better.
I will say he does have one of my favorite Spider-Man costumes.
His costume is really cool.
Yes. Jiminy, I know that you came in a little bit later. How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing fine. I'm just tired. Like I said, I just woke up from a nap, so.
Yes, Starfire always grabs her guest right in the middle of sleeping, and I force them to be on here. So please hit that like
She's
button.
like the
just for them.
anti-Santa. She drags you out of bed and makes you come and do stuff instead of letting you sleep and bringing you presents.
That's fine, as long as it's not lawn work. Much rather.
Oh, you didn't hear about next week's schedule? We're all going to Starfire's house.
Yeah, I actually need my grass mowed, so if you guys don't mind coming down here, I would very much appreciate that.
I'm gonna be out of town next week.
I'll mow the grass, you shovel or snow.
We're all gonna mow it to mow random symbols in our yard and hope the cops don't come and ask us what's going on.
Okay, that would actually be really funny. Actually, the thing about my yard is I have one patch of grass, so you would only have to be down here for like 2 minutes.
Especially if we all came.
Now, if we're talking about mowing grass, when my boys were little, we have a pretty big backyard, and every year as the summer went on, I would let this one big patch of the backyard keep growing to where the grass was, I don't know, 6-8 inches tall. And then when we got into October, I would move into it so that they could go out and run the maze.
That's so cool.
Cool.
That's like Dad of the Year award.
Cool. That's pretty awesome.
When I was younger, my dad would make us build a fence and then take it down and make us build it again.
Oh, jeez.
Your dad with the Army Corps of Engineers?
No, my dad was just a butt. Jacob, what
take them all
Spider-Man are you
summer,
drawing?
Hey everyone, sorry for being late.
No, it's not okay, and you're never gonna be welcome back again. You sound really tired. Are you doing okay?
Dude, I just woke up.
Okay, that makes sense.
See, like I told you, she's anti-Santa. She drags you out of bed.
Is it like 3 in the morning there or something? Is it like 3 in the morning there or something?
6 a.m.
6. You sound so sad. Jacob, if you'd like, you can go back to bed and you can just show us your Spider-Man picture tomorrow. It wouldn't be the end of the world.
No, he's up now. He has to do it. Must complete.
I do also want to say thank you to Jacob because he has done stickers for us as well. And he's also the artist that did the profile picture for Comic Science Fundraiser. So if you guys haven't already, please follow and like him on Twitter, and then go to his YouTube channel as well because this guy is such an amazing guy. And I am having such a hard time speaking today.
And what is his YouTube channel and Twitter? I am a horrible person. I know.
If you want to follow him on YouTube, it is SCH. I don't know why I'm saying this out loud. Okay.
It's
what Spider-Man are you doing?
What Spider-Man am I doing?
Yes.
I think I'm gonna just design one for myself.
All right, is perfectly fine. Just put a hood on him, okay?
Okay.
Put a hood on every single Spider-Man.
Yes, every Spider-Man has a hood now. Yes, Mr. Marvel, how are you doing?
I am all right. I am actually pretty tired myself. But I've been doing some drawing over here.
Yes, I probably should try and reschedule these.
No, I mean it's just I mean I literally got off work probably 20 minutes before this stream. And I'm Eastern time. So it's about to be midnight for me. And tomorrow I'm dad. So I kind of got to get off in pretty soon because I'm dad and I got to have some energy for that little one tomorrow.
Hey, that is
you know, but I have been doing my my Spider Gwen over here, and look, she comes with her own hood.
Mine comes with hood attached. I win.
I will never let him live that down. Every time he draws something now, I'm going to tell Gary to put a hood on it. That will be my new meme.
The new thing.
Yeah, everything. Even if he's just drawing like a rock, I'm gonna tell him to put a hood on that rock. Now, okay, I'm gonna say it without a stutter. Shawnee.
Yes.
Okay, how is your piece coming along?
Pretty good. I think it might need a little bit more, but I'm not sure. It's been really fun to work on though. Yeah.
One of the creators, I think, of some of the, I don't remember what artist said this, but Stanley, one of the artists at Spider-Man, was telling others, he was bragging he could do a Spider-Man very quickly because he didn't have to do any of like the eyes or anything. He just had to draw like the mask.
It's Todd McFarlane.
Ah, yes. I didn't know the artist, but I knew I knew some of what he said.
Todd is God.
McFarlane was bragging to Rob Liefeld one time. He was saying, "Yeah, I don't have to worry about those drawn Spider-Man, and his face is always covered up. It's just a round circle, pretty much." And that's why this is why Rob claims, anyways, why Deadpool has a mask, because he was trying to outdo Todd in the fact that he wouldn't have to draw a character.
Sounds like Rob.
That's pretty funny.
Sounds
Now,
like
what inspired you to draw Spider-Gwen?
I think that I really, really like her costume. Like, it's my favorite of all of them. And I thought she was really cool in the movie, Into the Spider-Verse. She was like my second favorite character in that one, but her costume's amazing, and I thought it was really cool.
Real quick, Gary.
It's a very well designed costume.
Yes,
it's a sick costume.
It is.
Gary Shipman is asking if the original pieces are available to buy from some of the artists here. So if you are doing a physical copy, because I know that some of you guys do sell some of these pieces afterwards, just post them up at the altar and see if anybody wants to buy some of the pieces.
For the low price of $5.99, you can have this piece of paper.
Well, I have actually bought some art from some of the artists that we get on here, so I know that some of the artists here will sell stuff.
And don't get me wrong, I'm not making fun of it. I'm just saying that mine's worth nothing compared to half of everyone else. That's not what I was saying.
Yes, you can buy Beast Boy's piece for a Taco Bell meal.
Don't tell them. Don't tell them I will stab my own for a Taco Bell meal.
Yes,
They're delicious.
You can actually get, you just buy a double decker.
Would be very disappointed in hearing that would be the cost.
You're gonna see Florida man. You're gonna hear Florida man stab someone for a Taco Bell meal, and everyone's gonna blame me, and I'll be like, fair enough.
No. Beast Boy is a really good artist, and I'm not writing on him. I'm just messing with him. Okay. Raven, I swear to God, if you were linking really bad stuff, I am taking your mod away. Just linking Manny. If you like history, sub to this channel. And then they tagged you, Manny. I hope you're
cool. That's cool.
Well, technically, every YouTube channel is history because it's not happening live.
So, Trusty, would you like to talk about your piece for a little bit?
Oh my goodness.
Oh, sure. Well, I'm doing the Tom Holland costume from Civil War, Spider-Man: Homecoming. I really like the extra black touches that they added to the design of this costume.
Mm-hmm.
And not being a huge Spider-Man fan, I don't have the attachment to a lot of the iterations through the years that some of you guys do.
Yeah, I know. I kind of preferred Amazing Spider-Man 2 to Homecoming.
Wait, the Amazing Spider-Man 2?
Yes, I kind of
the one with the one
I
with the
still
Electro?
haven't seen Homecoming.
Actually, that was probably the most accurate Spider-Man they put on screen in terms of Spider-Man himself, not Peter Parker, Spider-Man. Amazing Spider-Man 2 was like pretty much straight out of the comic books.
See, I didn't like his Peter Parker, but I thought he did do just because I didn't like the original Spider-Man movies. I thought the actor kind of looked like a fish.
Maguire.
Yeah, I mean he's a lovely guy, but he just didn't look like Spider-Man to me. He looked kind of tubby in his costume.
Yeah, we went back and rewatched all three of the Tobey Maguire ones a few weeks back because my son wanted to watch them, and we're like, yeah, we thought these were better.
Usually how it goes.
The
They
third
were
was just atrocious.
But even as a child, I thought he looked really tubby in his costume. I was like, he kind of looks like he's fat. And my mom was like, don't say that, kids.
Be nice.
Be nice, kids. I thought, I was like,
Or
he doesn't
Spider-Man.
look muscular. Like he looks kind of tubby. I think if they took those lines, like the webbing off his costume, he'd look a lot slimmer.
Probably.
Yeah.
But he looks really, to me, he looked really tubby, and then the actor looked, because even as a kid, I was like, he looks like he's 30.
Oh my gosh, that bothered me so much, because it was always
Okay,
like,
so it wasn't
he's
just
supposed to be
me.
in high school.
See, I thought because even when I was small, I was like, is he, why is he still in school? And my mom's like, oh, he's in high school. I'm like, that's not right.
Bothered me so much, I hated it.
Do what now?
Somebody is cutting out there. Adrian, you having some mic issues?
He got held back.
Yes.
Got back like 10 years.
He got held back until the spider bit him. That was his teacher's requirement on the note. I don't like this kid. Keep him back until a spider bites him and gives him superpowers. How would you know he gets superpowers?
Oh my God, Flint, you kill me.
Miles should have freaked in that movie when that enormous spider was on his hand.
Oh my gosh.
His reaction was way too calm.
Oh, I thought it was funny because it was just
I thought that too.
I thought it was a New York joke. Like, oh, you don't got a knife? I ain't afraid of you now. It's just like everyone in New York has a knife. Spiders have knives. Roaches have knives. The knives have knives. It's like a knife meme.
Yeah. But yeah, it's kind of ridiculous. That spider was as big as his hand. I was like, you're not going to be that calm when you're 14 years old and you have a giant spider on your hand.
I wouldn't be that calm at my age now.
cut
A
off your
giant
hand.
spider falling on my hand.
Is the gray web lines on its costume were because the technology back then the cameras couldn't see the red with black webs, so the gray helped for the camera.
I don't believe that.
That was
I don't buy that at all.
X-Men costumes were made out of pure leather. Can you imagine? Like, I kid you not, those X-Men costumes look like every time they moved, they farted.
Yeah, they were
Oh, I would pay money to see them do a running scene with just a leather sound.
Oh my gosh.
No. No.
Just because I want to hear the stupid sound. It's like when I don't know if any of y'all played like Legend of Zelda or something. There's a mini game that the guy only voice acting in it is guy saying sploosh. I want to be the guy that gets paid to say sploosh. And you know it's not like a random voice clip. The guy, it's literally someone just going sploosh, sploosh every time you miss, and it's just. I would love to be paid to do that. That'd be amazing.
That's kind of awesome. That's amazing.
The programmers. It's probably one of the programmers that did that.
It's just, I love that. It's amazing hearing stupid sounds like that. Taking the time to do it. There you go. I put a hood on it too. Are you happy? There.
Oh, did you really?
Beautiful.
Oh, that's funny.
I have a hood.
Ninja, want to talk about your piece and why you decided on Scarlet Spider? And he muted himself.
Yeah, it's because of a train. I don't know. I always thought, well, if you're talking about hoods, he was the first Spider-Man to wear a hood. So there you go.
So he's better than all the other Spider-Mans.
It's true. Everybody else is just copying his style, biting his style real hard.
He's such a 90s character. But every time I saw him, I was like, he looks like he's just such a sweet little Spider-Man. Like he just
that murders people.
Yes. But he just looks so innocent in comparison to some of the other Spider-Mans. I think it's because of the lack of lines. But he just looks like such a sweet guy, even though he's not. Like when you actually read the comics, he's not.
It's like if you go to baby jail. They're all adorable, but they're in there for murder. What?
I never thought I would be in jail for baby. Oh, we can actually see the line work of Jiminy Crickets now.
Oh, yeah. Starting to.
Now, is there any comic that you guys think, or any comic or other media that you think define the character Spider-Man?
Defines
his original cartoon, or what was it?
Oh, yeah, the 90s cartoon. That was like a comic adaptation.
Yeah, that was really
good. Which one are you talking about? The 1967 one?
Yeah. No, not the original. But I mean that helped. But the one in the 90s.
I didn't see that.
I'm gonna say that the TV show actually probably helped him elevate.
Oh yeah, I love that.
Fame also.
The live action one.
Yeah.
With Nicholas Hammond.
I love that show. Yeah.
I thought the movie with Nicolas Cage made it amazing.
What?
Yes, Into the Spider-Verse. Noir is Nicolas Cage.
Oh, okay, the new one. Okay, gotcha. I don't remember.
I mean, Nicolas Cage finally got into a movie that's not him being completely insane.
Just a little bit.
Just a little insane.
Just a tiny.
And being happy that he finally found the mystery cube that I don't actually know what different colors are. Oh, God.
That was funny.
Oh, I love that scene. Sorry.
I'm taking this.
Okay, for some reason the chat is saying to buy cherry leggings.
What?
I don't know what my chat is doing. Usually it's random, but it's never this random.
What, does Midnight Cherry have leggings for sale now?
I guess he does. Nighthawk, my favorite Spider-Man is Scarlet Spider. Although one of the first comic books I got to read with my mother's permission was the Spider-Girl book with, I don't even remember her name. Mayday Parker, there it was.
Mayday, yeah.
She, I read that story, and it was one of the only comics that my mother actually bought for me because my mother thought, my parents are very religious, and my mother thought comics were of the devil, especially the Teen Titans, which actually featured a devil.
Well, to be honest, the two new Teen Titans did have a devil in there. Didn't. Technically, they were right.
I mean, I've been very into comics since I was very little. When I was working as a busser at a Mexican restaurant, I would save $2 or $3 from my tips because we were very poor growing up. So, but I would ride my bike when I would get the chance because I would get off pretty early. I'd only work about like 8 a.m. to about 2 to 3 p.m. And I would ride my bike to the comic shop that was down the street. And I would buy little comic books out of the dollar bin, or because sometimes my comic shop would be like, oh, hey, here's a book that we think you'd like. That's actually how I read Kingdom Come, was because they saved me a copy of Kingdom Come. And I'm very close to my comic shop owner because he actually came to both my high school and college graduation.
Oh wow!
Cool.
Yeah,
You must have owed him a lot of money.
Where's my money? Is that your graduation gift? It's mine now.
Congratulations, where's my money?
I don't actually buy very expensive comics. I actually did sort of just buy because I was only 13. I was regularly making visits after work there, but Spider Girl was one of my favorite Spider-Man comics for the simple fact that I was allowed to read her, and my mother actually encouraged me to read her because I didn't like reading novels because I was a dumb kid, and I was like, I don't want to read these. These don't have any pictures in them.
What?
That's right.
I feel like that's a fair assessment, though.
Yes.
They don't have pictures. I don't want to see it.
Well, comic books, and they do appeal to guys more, and that's okay because again, women and men have different learning aspects, and with boys in particular, comics appeal more to them, and it's actually a better way to get them to read. But I really like art. I really do love art. I mean, I have an entire wall dedicated to all the art I buy.
Right. Yeah.
Me, comic books are some of my favorite stuff just because I liked the lessons you can get out of them. And it's one of the reasons why I feel like modern comics are so terrible is because there's really not any lessons outside of just agendas. And some comic books did focus more on agendas. I mean, New Teen Titans had a lot of agendas in them, but they still had character and stories behind them. It wasn't like a thread that rolled my eyes the entire time. With modern comics, I roll my eyes constantly because there's no character or plot or story structure or anything. It's just agenda. And it does frustrate me when female characters like Spider-Man
really nothing going
demasculate.
on.
Hi, Adrian. But it frustrates me because some characters get demasculated, and it just makes me very, very angry because comics in general should appeal more to boys and men than they should women. And the biggest way to appeal to women is by we've talked about
the whammons.
But the biggest way to appeal to women is through romance and relationships, which comics don't have. So it's very frustrating because they're saying that they want more women readers, but they also destroy any relationship.
Right.
But that's where you're wrong. They don't want women readers. They want whammon readers. You know what I mean? They don't want.
They want internet girls, guys in real life. Yay.
What they're saying is they want the thoughts that just read comics for attention.
See. And then they get more male readers because there's thoughts over there. Oh, geez.
Well, comics will never ever have a mostly female demographic because they don't appeal to the normal women, people that would pick them up. They appeal to agendas, and even those women don't buy those comics. That's why they're failing.
Right. Yeah. I think what they want is the praise of a small but very loud minority of people who, when they don't get what they want, are make it their mission to destroy whatever is upsetting them. And I think that once SJWs have got into Marvel and DC, they decided that, like you said, their agenda was all important. So they didn't care about how comics sold. They just wanted to make sure the comics stopped producing what they hated. Attractive, physically attractive, strong women who didn't have an that. and they hate the fact that those characters were popular. So they want characters that appeal to them, even though, like I said, they're a small minority and they didn't buy comics in general. They'd much rather a comic company produce those characters, even if they didn't sell, than to produce characters that did sell, that didn't push their narrative. So I think that's it's sort of a case of, misery loves company. So, if I can't be happy, no one can be happy.
It's been proven that a large majority of women don't identify as feminists. And
They don't
identify as what?
They're trying.
Yeah, they don't care about that.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
And then at that point, they consider you. It's what I call like it's why I came up with a really funny like group a while back called the alt-white. And it was, on its face it's funny, but it was more to pay attention to the fact that if you don't toe their line, they kind of just say, all right, well then you're another one of the white males we hate.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, I've been told that I'm sexist. Have I told you guys my first Twitter account that got mass spammed by SJWs because they were lying about my gender, sexuality, and like my beliefs?
Yeah.
No. I don't remember this.
My first Twitter, which was named Nicely Dressed Genji, was I had made a comment because there was this SJW that was saying stuff to DNC saying that women were the majority of comic book readers, and I had made a two-part. The first one was me explaining that I had volunteered at a comic book shop and that I was a woman. And then I sort of explained my background with comics. And then the second tweet was saying, I have been in comic shops all my life. I've volunteered at them. I've been in several times, and I very rarely see other women buy comic books. The guy, who ironically was a white dude, retweeted it, claiming I was a man and that I had said that women don't buy comic books. I was spammed with over 200 tweets every refresh. Telling me I was a sexist. No, my favorite one was a basement-dwelling, Cheeto-fingered rapist.
How did you know he was basement-dwelling? I'm not denying any of the other things.
When people pointed out I was a female, and this was the best part, when they pointed out that I was a woman, they started saying that I was homophobic. When they pointed out that because I was actually dating a woman at the time, they started saying I was transphobic. No, they started with but the woman I was dating was actually Filipino. And then they went with homophobic. One of my best friends is trans. But it was very interesting to be called everything under the sun. And it got very bad because they actually gave out the high school I went to as a threat. So I had to complete that Twitter. I was like, okay, I am not doing this. So I completely deleted the Twitter. And now I make it very clear from the start that I am a woman because I get tired of people going, well, you're just a white guy, and I'm sitting there like I'm a woman.
Right. Yeah. But that's all part of their method of trying to delegitimize and demonize anyone who disagrees with them.
Oh, definitely.
They try to paint them as delusional, at least on social media. Then they're attack mob after you to either get you to shut up or destroy you. Through doxing or having you deplatformed, go after the place you work at, whatever. Just all because someone disagrees with their point of view, and it's a sort of.
I remember one of the people that did it. Do you remember that comic book owner that kicked out that one guy from her shop?
Oh right, yes.
Yes, she was actually.
I remember.
That I was a dude because I remember reading her retweet because she retweeted it saying I own a comic book shop.
Right.
And I remember sitting there like, okay, and I couldn't reason with them because everything I said it was something.
You can't reason with them.
Yes.
Yeah.
Again,
there's no reasoning.
I used to be a feminist, and I will be honest with you. I only claimed feminism because I grew up with a very abusive father, and I was very angry at men, even though the majority of people that throughout my life have been men. I was very angry And I will admit that I did go to comic book groups and I did tell people that they were sexist, even though I didn't even believe that. I just wanted to. I'm not like that anymore because I grew up, but I will admit I have been a feminist at one point in time, and I understand how a feminist is. And the only way to really have, I would say, if somebody says they're a logical feminist, I would say that that's probably somebody that's a good person, because they don't want to just kill people. They want to logically point out stuff that is unequal for both men and women. And there are a lot of feminists that exist, so I don't villainize the people that actually use logic, but there's a lot of modern feminists that are using feminism as a way to attack and bully people. And feminism in whole only really helps one group of women, which is generally well-off women that just want attention and power.
Right, like El Simone.
Yes. Actually, I've never actually had contact with her, but she said some stuff about some of the women in Comicsgate, which is weird.
Exactly.
Yeah, all 8 of them. Wasn't that her comment? All 8 of them?
Yes, I'm sure they actually have all of us written down.
All 8 of them.
Yes. I've actually had SJWs message me on Facebook telling me that I'm a terrible person for modding for DNC. So that's very...
They do.
Yes. And again, I don't do anything but mod and run a fundraiser, so it's very odd. I will admit there are some sexist guys in Comicsgate. That is true, but it's such a low percentage that it's not anything that I would consider even close to even half, because it really is about 2% at most.
Yeah, that's probably less than the average male population.
Yes.
Yeah.
So.
But yes, and I'm sorry we went really political for a second. I am sorry for that.
Starfire's fault. Starfire's fault.
Yes, it's all my fault.
Her stream, her fault.
Didn't have this in a rating.
They got us off topic. Yes, we are close to our 30-minute mark.
Oh, so, no.
Heads up on everybody. If you can't finish it tonight, just remember that we will be, if you can, post them on Twitter with the tag at the altar. And Gary Shipman has asked beforehand where to go if somebody would like to buy one of the pieces. So real quick, I'm gonna let the artists kind of, any artist that's wanting to sell their piece, how would people get in contact with you to buy the piece, and how much generally how much is your pricing?
Okay, I guess I'll go first. You can find me on my YouTube channel, youtube.com/illustration-by-design, or my Facebook page, facebook.com/illustration-by-design. And you can DM me on Facebook, and all my contact info is on my all my videos on YouTube, youtube.com/illustration-by-design. And I'll sell it. It's I'm trying to think what size is this? 9x12. So I don't know if anyone wants it, you can have it for $60 when I'm done.
Sweet. Is anybody else going to be selling their pieces?
I will if anyone's interested in it. My YouTube channel is Shawnee Does Art, as said. I also, if you want to get in contact with me, you can go to my Instagram, which is also Shawnee Does Art, but like the tag is marie.shawnee, if you guys want that. And this is a 7x10, so like $30 or $20, whichever.
Now, if you guys do not have an Instagram, because I know we have a lot of old guys in here, just contact me on Twitter.
I have an Instagram.
I feel offended because I'm not old and I don't.
And I will give you her PayPal information because I have commissioned Shawnee before, and she's a really good artist. Yes, I've actually made Shawnee very busy before because I am a terrible person.
I'm almost done.
Yes, Shawnee is actually working on a poster for me, and she actually gave me a really good deal, so I really do appreciate that. Who else is doing physical pieces? Third, are you going to be selling your piece?
If someone wants it, yeah, sure.
Sweet. So if you do want to get in contact with Third, he has put. Is that your YouTube?
Yeah. And it's the same thing on. It's Third Tempest on Twitter too. So.
Let me get the link on that. Wow, your thing is not coming up on YouTube. That's kind of funny.
It will never come up on YouTube. They don't like me.
I can Google Pokefire and I come up, and I'm very happy with that.
You can Google Third Tempest, all one word, and it'll come up.
I'm just gonna put your Twitter. Here he is.
Is that third spelled out or 3RD?
Third spelled out.
Okay.
Here we go. Can you commission me? Oh, yes, Raven. I'll commission you if you want. No, I won't. Yes. Trusty, will you be selling your piece?
Absolutely.
Yes.
I would be happy for Spidey to find a home with someone who would. I don't have an Instagram yet. I'll probably set one up soon once I get a little more stuff to post up there. But I'm at TrustySidekick3 on Twitter, and my DMs are open. So feel free to hit me up. I would probably sell this for $40.
Cool.
John Dillard wants to know if he can commission somebody to draw circles and squares.
I
Sure,
could
John
do
Dillard.
it. I could do it.
Where's
I
Booster?
have a template. I can do it.
Yeah, Booster will do that for a slice of pizza. Mr. Marvel, will you be selling your piece?
No, but I'll post. It's digital.
Your daughter, yes.
It's digital, so I mean, I'll post it if you want to save it for yourself to have and like use in background. I don't care. I like when people do that. That's actually, I'm very honored when people do that. So like everything, I'm gonna post this. I'm sure tomorrow with the hashtag alter. It's coming out not too bad. Nice little like
Let me know.
too bad.
Yeah,
Pizza. I make circles and squares.
I will say that the stream has actually made me like Gwen, Spider-Gwen a little bit more.
Yeah.
I will admit I did not like her because I kind of liked that that Gwen died and didn't really come back, because I feel like that's sort of something that's been taken away from comics. His death has been completely invalidated.
Right.
Yeah. No, I agree. I didn't like her either until the movie last night, Into the Spider-Verse.
Yeah, I agree. That's what really sold me on it, and how much my daughter loves her. So I get that double whammy.
Yes, I mean, it's the design that has really just made this character. Ooh, Adrian, I really like that Spider-Man 2099.
Oh, thank you.
Was that the original 2099?
It's a bit of amalgamation of the new one and the old one.
I don't remember all the Spider-Man costumes.
To be fair, there are hundreds out there.
Yeah, there's a bunch.
Is that Spider-Dude?
I always liked Alec Ross's Spider-Man costume.
1999.
Okay.
Alex Ross.
Yeah.
Oh, that
his
man.
designs were. Yeah. I think they used part of his designs for the new Spider-Man movie coming up. With a lot of black instead of blue for his arms and legs. So I like that. I like the sort of stark contrast between the red and the black.
I think you're right.
Yeah. I do sort of like the black suits. Like, I kind of like one of the reasons why I prefer the black suit Spider-Man is because it doesn't have the webbing on it, and I know that's like a classic thing, but I kind of prefer Spider-Man's to not have the webbing on there. I just think it makes him look a little bit more less serious. If that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah. Makes him look sleeker, more. It's a cool look.
Now I will show everybody my favorite Spider-Man costume real quick, because I like the armored look. So let me pull it up.
Look.
Yes, one of my favorite costumes was the armored Spider-Man, the silver one. But I have also really come to love like Agent Venom, and then of course the Ends of Earth Spider-Man suit.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but he kind of looks like he just looks so cool.
Yeah, I thought I looked too bulky and lumpy. I
mean,
liked
it's
it.
sort of take away part of Spider-Man's charm there.
What are you drawing?
Roller derby Spider-Man.
What about the
roller derby Spider-Man?
Yeah.
well, there's Spider-Man had an actual like robot.
Yeah, they did a Spider-Man robot.
Because the Japanese, they had a like a Spider-Man where he would have a giant robot.
Huh. I remember the TV show. They made a Spider-Man.
The Spider-Man?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they gave him like a Power Ranger thing.
Yeah, he's cool. Like a big old like ring or something.
Yeah. Yeah, that sounds Japanese. Yeah, pull up that picture real quick. Oh boy, I'm glad I didn't do that. Now that makes me want to, because I actually bought a Power Ranger cover yesterday because it was such a cool cover. Well, not yesterday, Thursday.
What Power Ranger cover did you catch?
There's this one from Power Ranger Space, because my first Power Ranger series was like Lost Galaxy, and they had this guy with horns and stuff. I don't remember his name, but I bought a cover with that on it just because the cover looked absolutely amazing. But there is the Spider-Man with his Japanese robot.
Huh.
Yeah, Lost Galaxy, to sort of get super off topic, Lost Galaxy was the first time a Power Ranger actually died, and it was because the actress was going through a disease at the time.
Going through a what?
I think she had Lyme's disease, but don't quote me on that because I'm not 100% sure. Yeah, I believe the guy's name was Magna Defender. But it has been forever. I used to be a huge Power Ranger person just because it was the only thing that we had on our TV, and my brother would watch it with me, and then he'd lie to me about certain stuff like, "Oh, that Power Ranger's this." Like he'd tell me like the stupidest lies, and I was dumb enough to believe him.
Mag Defender Defender sacrifices himself. Okay.
No, he actually told me that he was a superhero once, and I believed him. So my brother had convinced me that he was the sidekick of Batman, and I was like, "Oh,
that's cool. That's cool."
Batman. Okay, now I'm just imagining Batman as a Power Ranger.
Brother.
Well, I went to school telling people that my brother was a sidekick to Batman.
That's okay. Aw, that's nice.
Oh, it's nice.
Your brother wanted you to admire him. That's cool.
No. Okay, so the worst lie that he told me, when we were at my grandma's, because my grandparents live sort of in an excluded area, he took me to this bridge that's around my grandparents' house and told me that a ghost lived there, and that if you go there at certain parts of the day, the ghost will push you off stuff. And I was like 4 or 5, and I was never going back to that area again because I was so terrified of it.
Oh man.
But he would do stuff like that.
Brother stuff.
Does it still sound like classic Big Brother? No, I do love my big brother. He actually served in the Coast Guard for 4 years before.
Oh, really? Nice. Oh, wow.
He was honorably discharged after he was shot in his leg. So.
Oh man! Yeah. Ouch! Wow.
Yeah. He used to be 6'3", I think, and now he's 5'10". After that accident.
What?
Yeah. They had to take his leg out. It wasn't a dangerous job. Yeah.
Yeah.
At the time, he lived in New Orleans, and I got to live with him for a little while, and it was a really
cool
crazy city. I don't ever want to go back.
Yeah, I'm kind of scared of New Orleans.
You couldn't go out
The
at
whole,
night.
yeah, the whole voodoo thing kind of scares me. So I'd be staying inside all day.
But that's what they want you to do.
Yeah,
You're already
no.
that puppet. You lose.
Yes, Third is selling his piece for the price of a taco. Now, is this like a gourmet taco, or
We can discuss this in DMs.
we can discuss this in DMs? Yes. Yeah, we got totally off topic, and I am so sorry, guys.
Spider-Man likes tacos. I don't know what you're talking about. That's perfectly on topic.
Par for the course.
Since we are getting very close to the end of the stream, I am going to put Adrian on the spot for the last time tonight. Adrian, would you like to talk about your piece?
Spider-Man 2099. It's like a amalgamation of both the new one and the old from the 90s. So, because the old doesn't have like the leg design, but I wanted some more red in the leg design, so I did it that way.
No, the interesting thing about this Spider-Man was he actually was the first, I believe he was the first mixed race Spider-Man. Because he is...
yeah. He's Hispanic.
Yeah, he's actually a really cool character because he's actually deformed too because his father injected him with, I believe, something that changed him into like a part spider. So he has like vampire teeth almost.
Yeah. It's not a deformity though. That's not a deformity.
Oh no, it's not. It's not like a. Like, I mean, technically, he's. What is that? Like mutated a little bit, I guess.
Yeah, I think it's.
But he's gonna be such a heartthrob for all the girls in middle school. He's a vampire. Oh my god.
Yeah, seriously.
Twilight fans.
Right.
Yeah, he's Twilight Spidey.
It doesn't matter what year it is. There's gonna be girls like Twilight Spidey. Yay! I won.
Yeah. It's like bite me, envenomate me, by Spidey.
Oh,
yeah.
Please no. That's.
Oh man, that stinks. Like out of nowhere, my phone just stopped recording, so I can't. I was just about to show you guys my finished piece.
Well, his webbing was like organic too.
Oh really? Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's part of his mutation, I think, or something. If I remember.
Yeah.
So it comes out of his wrist like in Tobey Maguire movies.
I think it came out of his forearm.
Sometimes it comes out of there. Sometimes it doesn't.
It comes out of his forearm.
Did he also have like claws?
Yeah.
That came out of his forearm.
Send this to you. Can you share with everybody because I gotta kind of take off. It's a little late, and but I want to show everybody my finished piece.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, he had claws. That's how he climbed.
Are you just gonna send it to me in DM or something?
Yeah.
All right.
That's Scarlet Spider.
No, that's
No.
2099.
Hang on.
All right, thank you, Mr. Marvel, for coming down here.
Yeah,
If you guys haven't already, please back his Indiegogo, and he has made it super affordable. So if you guys are worried to afford it, you can. It is super affordable, and if you do need help affording it, please check out Comics Titan fundraiser because we can help.
Thank you so much. It's absolutely my honor to be on. Thank you so much. Yeah, thank you for inviting me. That was super cool of you.
Thanks for coming, man.
Yeah.
Here you go, real quick.
Thank you very much.
Here is his piece. You guys all see that?
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Thank you.
And he did the background and everything. Yeah, that's Mr. Marvel right there.
That's great.
Could you say that again with that accent?
Mr. Marvel?
Mm-hmm.
That looks great, man.
Thanks, guys.
Very nice.
Thanks for having me. And everybody,
Congratulations, bro.
you did super kick-ass stuff, man. All your stuff looks really, really good. Everybody did an amazing job. Super happy to have been able to be amongst great artists. And yeah, everybody go check out Juan Pool. It did really, really great. And thank you to everybody that backed it up. And let's plug Mr. Marvel Twitter, Mr. Marvel YouTube. I got funny videos. I'll get off my ass and make some videos. I just had a really buckle down and get all the logistics to this campaign going. But now I have a little bit more free time. So thank you for having me.
Hey, thank you for coming on.
Thanks for coming.
Thank you. Having a good night, guys.
You too.
Catch you later,
Good
bro.
night. Good to meet
Much
you.
love.
No, my pleasure.
That guy would make a better Harley Quinn than Tara Strong.
Miguel was his name, right? So he was a geneticist, actually.
Oh,
and
okay.
he wanted to recreate the abilities of the original Spider-Man.
Mm-hmm.
But there's like some kind of an accident that happens that causes him to like.
I think
get,
his father's
There's always some sort of an accident.
Yeah, I think his father was involved, but I can't remember exactly because it's been forever since I've read the book.
I mean,
I've read it, but it's been forever for me as well, and I just remember that he doesn't have a good relationship with his father because of something regarding the accident.
What, like Cyborg?
No. Cyborgs wasn't done on purpose. I think the accident that involved.
I think this one was.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
But I was talking about the relationship with his dad.
Oh no, Cyborg's relationship with his dad is because his dad didn't kill him because he was like, I don't want to live as a cyborg. But Miguel's is, I believe it's because his father actually caused the accident. Manny, I see that you're doing the sticker. Actually, Manny, if you want to ink the sticker for us, we can send it to our colorist. But we do have a specific colorist that colors for us, so we make sure that everything sort of matches together.
Kyle Ritter?
Huh? No. We use Day of Sex.
Oh, okay.
Yes, he is an amazing colorist, by the way. And
awesome.
The dude does it for a very reasonably priced, and he is just absolutely fantastical. And I will always recommend him as a colorist because the dude is just such an amazing guy, but he has the skills to back it up. So if you want to ink it, Manny, and then
Does he have a YouTube channel?
He does. It's I will put it down here real quick.
Yeah, if you could.
Actually,
I'm sure a lot of people looking for colorists. So.
Yes. Night Pope, can you actually put the link down? Nighthawk, these stickers, what we will be doing is setting them up for a fundraiser, and all the profits will go to Feisty because she is going through a hard time with her divorce, but also health reasons. To Joseph, please, Night Pope. So Manny, do you want to talk about your piece for a little bit, or do you want to just show off the sticker?
Sorry, I didn't realize I was on mute. I've been coughing too much.
It's fine. I kind of prefer you on mute anyways.
I know, right?
Smoking that good Hawaiian.
And since I was not asked if I'm going to sell my piece tonight, thank you so much.
Are you going to sell your piece?
You guys know that I do usually work in digital, but if you guys do want me to do it in traditional, I will do that. I can, print this out and do the traditional.
Well, what you should start doing is just selling them as prints, because I think you could make a lot of profit off of that.
Oh, but if somebody wants this as an original, I can do that too. And I do have an Instagram, so I'm not that old. Huh?
You're just there to ruin Instagram. That's all it is, because that's all the old people do is they join Instagram just to make sure nobody else can enjoy it.
No, I don't even use it. I just have it for the Unbreathable Skunk Girl. But usually anybody can get to me, Good Dog Press, on Twitter. I use Twitter more than anything else. But yeah, I do have a stupid Instagram, which I hardly ever use.
I really like Spider-Man Noir. He's one of my favorite costumes for Spider-Man.
Well, it was a scratchboard technique, so it was pretty fast for me to do. That's why I started to ink the cute chibi.
Sweet. Well, if you get that inked, I will send it to our colorist, and it will make his job a lot easier. I do have a request, though. Could you finish the tail out for Raven? Because he ran out of room.
That's fine. I kind of figured that out. I'll try my best to try to do his style. That's all. Right, kind of figure out his style. It's
all
cool.
right, now we will show off Jacob's piece, and Jacob joined really late, but he is doing an original Spider-Man. Jacob, are you here?
Yes, I'm here.
You're here. You've been very quiet.
Nice.
You still sleepy?
No, I'm better.
You're better. You don't sound better.
No, thank you.
Looks good, man.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah, that looks really good, by the way. Poor Jacob. He actually fell asleep during the Spider-Verse movie. So what we will be doing is tomorrow, instead of doing a stream, we will be doing another Rabbit Hangout where you guys can watch Spider-Verse with us. So if you do want a link to that, please message me on Twitter, and I will try and make sure everybody that can will get into the movie. Because that's a really good movie, and you guys do not want to miss it.
Well, I had to dip out too before I fell asleep.
Well, I will be doing another running of it, and hopefully I can do it at a better time for everybody. So we'll try to do it around maybe 2 p.m. Central Time. That way everybody has a better chance of watching it. And if you guys miss it again, I'll try to air it again on Sunday night.
Cool. Thanks, Pope.
I don't know what Third is doing.
I don't know. I'm messing with my screen, and the face is just funny because I forgot I was watching a show. It's just like you see the face, like, oh.
Drifters, the adventure of Pistol Domino? Huh. No, I really do like this Spider-Man. I feel like you're improving every time you hop on Third.
Oh.
I don't think I'm improving. I think I'm just wanting tacos and desperately making doodles.
Yes, Third is in desperate need of tacos, guys. So please support him and follow him on Twitter. And I will be posting up his Twitter link on my own Twitter, so everybody knows where to go to find him. Because I didn't even know he had a Twitter, and I've been friends with him for like what, 3 years?
4, but yeah.
4 years, yes. The stupid guy didn't.
To be honest, I don't tweet. What do you want me to tweet? I'm going to work. I got off work. I'm going to sleep. That's literally my life day in and day out. I work 12 hours and I go to sleep.
Oh, wow.
Congratulations. You know when I'm home. You know when I'm not home.
So, if you guys do want to find him, I posted the link on my personal Twitter. I know most of you follow me on Twitter anyways, so if you do want to find him, it is on my Twitter. Please go and follow him so he has at least double-digit followers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or just 3. 3 would be amazing because I'm third.
Yes. Just Jiminy. Ooh, Jiminy also came in late. That looks really good.
Yeah, it's gonna be like this. Upside down.
You are really, really good at acrobatic pieces.
Yeah, you are, man.
I'm surprised no one did Spider-Man.
There you go. There you go.
See, because the last time you were on here, you did the upside down Robin, and I actually owned that piece. So nobody else can have it. It's mine now.
Yeah, I don't know. Whenever I have characters like Robin or Spider-Man, I like them doing acrobatic stuff. So, I need to practice doing more of that type of type of movement, because I don't know if you guys have ever seen like Matthew Weldon's work. He's on the Drawn and Quartered streams, the Pro Edition. His work is amazing. Every time I see him drawing, he does like these crazy poses that, if you haven't already, subscribe to his YouTube channel, because he does these really quick speed drawings, like 2 minutes long or something, and he'll just whip out like these crazy poses of superheroes and heroines doing fantastic things, and the way he's able to just pump it out, it inspires me. It makes me want to try to do more things like that, and so this is my sort of attempt to be more creative with the poses and everything.
See, I buy a lot of commissions, but I never really draw myself. And if I do, it's mostly just troll stuff or meme stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm not as creative as the artist. So it is really nice to do an art stream, and I get to sort of see how creative people can be. And I really do love to see the different art that people can come up with. And what are you doing, Third? You weirdo. Okay, I'm gonna say it right. Shawnee,
Yes.
Yes. Aha. Okay. Yes, I'm so proud of myself. I'm getting better at it. It only took me one stream. It took me like 8 before I said Jacob right, and I still don't think I'm saying it right.
Nah, that's still not
Yahoo,
good.
right?
Yahoo.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna call him either Jacob or Jacob, okay? Because he wants too much from me. Shawnee, would you like to talk about your piece?
Sure. Sorry, I'm still new at this. It's a picture of Spider-Gwen. Just her, I don't know, looking dramatically, I guess. But yeah, I don't really have anything to say about it. Sorry.
Well, this is Shawnee's first live stream, and I do want you to know that for your first live stream, you're doing very well.
Okay, good. I'm glad.
It's okay to be shy and nervous, because trust me, my first live stream, I think I stuttered the entire time. I stayed, because it was on FanPink, and I stayed on mute like the entire time.
Yeah, you were
And they're like,
most of the time.
and they asked me afterwards, like, Night Pope, or not Night Pope, Popefire, you know you can talk sometimes, and I'm like, yeah, I know. No,
It's nerve-wracking.
It's just practice, and this is probably one of the best streams to start off on, because we are a smaller stream and we do sort of. Yeah, we have a lot of people on here that don't shut up, which it's mostly me when I say that. It's me. I never shut up.
She went from the shy little wallflower to I'm not going to shut up. Listen to me now.
Well, that's part about running your own stream is you get to dictate what happens. So if I'm going on other people's streams, I want to be polite. But if I'm on my own stream, I can be as rude as I want.
You could just be like, okay, we're talking about this now.
Yes. Which is why I'm super mean to Manny all the time, but it's
not polite at all.
No, people actually think I hate Manny, but I promise you guys, I do not. Manny's one of my favorite people. I just really like messing with him because he reminds me of my uncle.
Yeah, we do a lot of stupid things behind the scenes.
It's Uncle Manny.
If Pope isn't trolling, then she probably doesn't like you.
Yeah.
Yes, if I'm being like overly polite to somebody, I swear I don't like them because I'm only overly polite to people I don't like.
Yeah, that's pretty much a good assessment.
But no, Shawnee, you're doing very well for your first live stream, and I'm very thankful that you could be on here with us.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun.
And if you do want to come back for any of the other At the Altar ones, we will be trying to reschedule it a little bit so we can do these a little bit earlier.
Awesome.
That'd be nice.
That would be awesome.
That's a really clean, good piece you got going on there. Like really slick.
And sorry, Shawnee, you can go ahead.
Thank you.
Gary's saying you can get Shawnee's art on Gary's Offspring Art. Yes, Gary is very promoting. He's a good father. But yes,
he's better at it than I am.
Well, it's okay. You'll get better at it. When I first started out on the fundraiser, I was very shy and embarrassed about asking people like, "Hey, we have this fundraiser. You should support it." But I got a little bit more confident in it, and I don't feel as shy anymore talking about the fundraiser. But when I first started, I was like, it's kind of embarrassing to ask people to help.
Yeah.
But when you get better at it, and all it really takes is practice, and the more streams and the more relaxed you get on streaming, it does get a lot easier.
That's good. It's good to know.
So, if you do want to support Shawnee, Gary Shipman does have and will you stop timing out Night Pope? Raven. If you do want to support Shawnee, you can get you can get her art from Gary Offspring's Art. Head over to her Instagram, or you could contact Gary Shipman because I'm sure he can tell you how to buy as well. Yeah. And she is somebody really good to work with because I have hired her before, and I actually have a piece of hers on my wall. So she is somebody that I would give the Pope approval sticker to. So Next week,
Awesome.
yes. Next we will be covering Trusty, who did Homecoming Spider-Man.
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
And got him coming out the window, making a quick getaway from Aunt May. Aunt May wanted a little alone time with Happy. So.
Oh gosh. You just ruined it for everyone. Thanks.
Oh well.
I do not like you anymore, Trusty.
The visual, mental image. The mental image is scarring me.
Yes, the most attractive Aunt May in all of history. It's funny because they actually did an Aunt May figure that looked absolutely disgusting a few years back, and it was so funny.
The Aunt May keeps getting younger and younger and younger. If they reboot the series anymore, she's going to be a child.
It's Sister May.
Yeah,
she's gonna be dating Peter. Yeah, it's gonna be messed up.
Awful.
Ew.
Don't give me my ideas, guys. Don't give me my ideas.
With the gross imagery behind us, Trusty, would you like to talk about your piece a little bit?
Gosh, don't know if I should say anything else. I would hate to get booted. Okay, 8.5 by 11. Like I said, I'll put it up on Twitter if anybody's interested. You can hit me up in the DMs on Twitter. I really like the Homecoming costume. I like the extra black touches that they added to the costume to really make it pop. I thought that was good. They didn't change it too much. It's like my son was playing the PS4 Spider-Man game with the big white.
Oh, right, yeah.
I was like, I'm not so sure about that one. But, yep. So that's it. But I was thinking about something, Eminence. You bringing artists on, hosting these streams, and giving us an opportunity to produce art and showcase our work. You really are like the popes of old. I mean, I'm sure most of us have seen the agony and the ecstasy. You're like our Rex Harrison.
Well, I started the stream because a handful of my friends wanted to do some art streams. Because if most people know that I'm not big on streaming, I really don't have anything to offer other than my opinion. So I don't really like streaming too much, but I do have fun on these streams and I look forward to them. So what I did was I set up a stream because somebody had told me that they were a little frustrated at the restrictions of drawn and quartered. So I was like, okay, I'll do one where the artist, we'll have a theme, but the artist gets to do what they want. Usually, and I'm sorry for putting restrictions on you guys with the Spider-Man one, but usually we try and make it to where you can draw whatever is in that theme. But when I came up with the idea, it actually wasn't mine, it was somebody else's. I don't know why or how I have a platform, but I do, so I'm very thankful that I get to use this platform to help other people.
Yeah.
Because really, the only thing I do on YouTube is I go to Art and troll.
And I think your Titans fundraiser is a great thing.
Oh, yeah. We've bought over, I think, 50 books now. We're no longer putting Comics Titans fundraiser in the Indiegogos now. We are going to start putting people's real names because we don't want to embarrass anybody, because somebody pointed out that it may embarrass people that ask for your help. So what we're going to start doing is now that the creators know that we do buy these books, we're just going to start putting the foreign person's name down on there. So that way, because we have already talked to several creators that know that we have bought their books for them, so they know and trust us, so we don't have to worry about them going, well, you guys aren't doing what you're supposed to.
Right.
That being said, we are still open. We're just not currently taking donations because we do have an excess of funds, and I don't want to ask for more funds or more donations until we sort of lowered what we've had so far, because I feel like that's just not a good thing for a fundraiser to do, is be like, well, we made a crap ton of money, we want more money, because I don't want that. I want to be completely honest with people with Comics Titans fundraising.
That's smart.
Yeah.
And that was a lot of talking. Your friendly neighborhood ninja, your Scarlet Spider, is looking very nifty.
Oh yeah, thank you. Had a lot of
I
trains this evening.
Yeah, I know you came in a little late, and Spider-Man's your favorite character, so I'm sorry that you missed some of it. But would you like to talk about your piece for a little bit?
Well, this piece takes place back in like 1996. And yeah, it's it's just Spidey going out to keep the streets safe, I guess. And as if you want a digital copy of this, I'll sell it digital copies for I don't know $1. Well, $1.50 because of tax.
Yes, Ninja also does several icons for us, so he is somebody that I would also give the Pope approval to. And if you do want to commission him for an icon, we don't have currently anybody on the panel that does have a Ninja icon, but we do have several people in Titan Squad that are rocking Ninja icons. And Ninja does work with you on prices and stuff. He's a really good guy to support. With that being said, we are now 2 minutes past our schedule. So real quick, I'm gonna ask the panel what they would like to do for next week, like what kind of theme they would like for next week, and then we're gonna close off.
About Judge Dredd.
Power Rangers.
We could do more violent
superheroes as Power Rangers.
We're not doing
superheroes.
Because we've done Spider-Man this week. I want to do a more lenient theme. So how would you guys feel about more violent superheroes or anti-heroes?
Like Judge Dredd.
Like
that works.
That's
way,
fine.
That way you guys aren't limited again. All right, please remember when you post these up on Twitter and or Facebook to tag them at the altar. And it is now 3 minutes past, guys. Thank you to all the chat for being here. Please check out all the artists, sorry, I'm from Texas. All the artists on the channel.
Like how your accent jumped out.
Yeah. No, apparently I get super Texan when I get angry. But of course, we did have Adrian Tempest, Good Dog Press, Shabby, the sexiest man in Comicsgate. Third Tempest, we had Mr. Marvel guesting today. We have Jiminy Cricket once again stopping by, and Jiminy, I hope, becomes a regular. We do have Shawnee Does Art. This was her first stream ever, so please show her some love. And then we do have Trusty Sidekick. And of course, your friendly neighborhood ninja. So thank you guys for showing up, and I hope all of you guys have a really great night.